Oh, I could see Caleb Stevens being a good pastor.
Maya Kerr.
Naomi Graver.
Jason Good would be a good pastor.
Annalise Mucker, because she's very nurturing, and I think that she would do a great job.
Jennifer Spate, and she did a ministry inquiry program a couple years ago, and I think she would make an excellent pastor.
Well, I work with many various of Asian congregation, and I mentioned probably the name just come to my mind that Huynh Ho live in the Temple City, California. I would see his qualification would be a pastor.
I would say Danny Canaviri. He's leading the Kenya team with our YES program right now, and he's a pretty awesome young man.
I would say John Landis and Tim Martin that are currently serving at the Discipleship Training Center, Harrisburg.
John Wenrick and Darren Martin from the Blainsport Church.
I think.
Okay, wait. I just thought of someone else. Her name is Anita Hooley Yoder, and she also attends my church, Friendship Mennonite Church in Bedford Heights, Ohio. And I know she's in seminary, but I'm not sure if she's going to be a pastor or not. So I'd like to encourage her as well.
Sometimes just encourage everyone to get involved. I don't think you necessarily have to become a pastor when you're 25. You can maybe become one when you're 60 and you've retired or something like that.
Isaac King.
There are a lot of people from my church that I can think of, but the pastor that we have right now is awesome. I like him a lot.
I have a friend named Casey Cole. She's a very energetic person. She's very open. She's really easy to talk to. She'd be great.
Well, this lady at my church, Judy Dorman, she's awesome. She's our Sunday school teacher, and she's just great. She's welcoming. She helps us with problems. She's not afraid to give her opinion, but she's not judgmental about it either.
Well, I've often thought Mark Gingrich would do well in that position. And I think Caleb Detweiler's another one who's a former graduate from our school. One of our more recent graduates, it would be Ida Short.
Robert Hackman, Butch Clay, many people. John Winger, Bob Zaire. I'd even like to twist it a little bit and throw my name in there too, Patrick Perry.
Hannah Heinziker and Grace Schwartzendruber. Those girls, I believe, have a calling from God. I don't know what area per se, but I just feel the spirit within them, and I know they have a calling.
Ben Reshley. He's a young guy. He's very young and energetic, and he really loves the Lord, and he knows what he's talking about, and I think he'd be a real good person for that.
Tyler Oshman is a perfect candidate for such a position due to his unshakable beliefs and his love for people around him.
Nathaniel Kennel is a young person from our congregation in Sarasota that is gifted. And I don't believe that he has been called, but I would like to make a call on him today that he could be a good youth pastor.
Matt Friesen needs to come back and be a pastor again.
The name Seth Lapp comes to mind. He's been relating to me a little bit, and he'd never think he'd be a good pastor. I think he would be, and I'd be wanting to talk to him about that.
This young man right here, he's really good with music. I shouldn't be the one sitting here with the guitar. I want to encourage him specifically to continue with that because he's good.
Let's see. Someone in our church, definitely Eli. He has a very good praying ability. We've had a couple group prayers, and he's very passionate about praying. So I would say that for him.
Is someone like Joanna Shank, who's doing a lot of work with a variety of interchurch relations and out there. So I think her kind of leadership, seeing the youth. When I think of folks at my church at Pittsburgh Mennonite, we are just filled and blessed with young adults who are really using art and creativity.
I would like to encourage our pastoral intern, Melissa Flora Bixler. I think that she's doing a great job, and I'm excited about the different gifts she has for bringing new practices into our congregational worship.
I would encourage Aaron Yoder because he's a great Christian, and it'd just be good for him.
Mary Shrug.
Yeah.
Mary Shrug.
Yeah. Mary Shrug from our youth group.
I think Rachel Bowman would be a great church leader.
Kate Friesen.
Wade Springer.
Timothy Litweiler from our church. He is very, very good at speaking and leading, and he has good ideas.
I think her brother, Michael Kilmore, would be a fantastic music pastor. He's pretty awesome.
I'm really excited that Sachin Lee will be joining us for seminary this year.
Megan Good.
Amanda Gross. She also is someone who is doing a degree at EMU in peace building and is an artist here in Pittsburgh. And so her kind of creativity, I would encourage her to utilize those things for church leadership.
Trevor is very different than me, and it has been a great growing experience learning how he thinks and the lessons that he can offer us about spirituality and spiritual growth. And I would really like to encourage him as he continues with this process, because I have learned so much from him.
His name is Brian Lee.
Clinton Weaver's just graduating now and has spent years at Camp Luz, shepherding younger kids there. I could see him continue to use those skills with young folks. Shannon Grimes has stepped up in some leadership roles here, and I think she could grow into that as well.
Renee and Jason are youth leaders from James Street.
Danny.
I think of Janelle.
I think of my wife, Carol.
A former youth group leader, Don Nelson at our church. I think he would make a very good pastor.
I think Anna Yoder, someone who just recently graduated from Goshen College. She has a lot of abilities that I think would be useful for ministry.
All of our youth, I just think, are great, and I would encourage each and every one of them.
Jessica, Andy, actually. Baldemar has potential. Maritza, she's a bright one. All of them I would encourage.
Mr. TJ, the pastor of our church, his dad, just encourage him.
Joel Beachy, I think would be an excellent minister.
Danny Klotz was a Radical Journey participant and has, I think, some wonderful pastoral gifts.
Her name is Kimberly Mack.
I would encourage my youth leader, Jancine Howell, to become a youth pastor for our church. Well, we have a youth pastor, but I think she could go out and go and be a youth pastor for a church that needs it.
Our youth group at Waynesboro Mennonite Church is just an amazing group of young people, and it's a privilege to work with them, and I believe that they're called to a bunch of different types of ministry, and I look forward to working and discovering and calling those out in them.
But I think Isaac Yoderschrock is someone who would be a very good leader of a congregation and just in that role.
Well, I always liked Owen Burkholder and look up to you and the good work that you're doing. But currently I'm a member of a church in Atlanta. It's a new church startup led by a young couple, Chris and Leah Lyman Waldron. And it's exciting to be a part of their new efforts and the things that they're doing.
My Uncle Leighton.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good.
MK.
MK.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, and yeah.
All right. Cool. Now, we encourage you to go and talk to MK.
The hook.
I think within my congregation, there's a young guy that I think has some potential. Conrad Martin. He probably will never hear this, but I would like to affirm what I've seen in him as a young man.
Cool. 2 boys in my youth group. One's Peyton and one's Dylan. I think those boys should be called.
Cool. Justin Hosteller.
Yeah, I would say our sponsors, Justin and Aubrey Hosteller. Also, I think that my mentor, Bob Love, he's also a really good guy, and he would be a very good person for that.
That Sakara Martin.
Okay.
Sakara Martin.
All day, every day. Darlene Johnson.
All right.
Marita Beachy.
All right.
Tori Nisley.
Keith Carter, which I think has a gift, and I see Fernando Castillo and Monique Castillo, some very good potential people that can be of a blessing to us in the church.
His name's Luke Miller, and he's always been able to have that sense of presence and calm and peace that allows you to feel comfortable with where you are and who you are, and that peace, like giving that as a gift to a person is what allows you as an individual to find your call and to have the peace of accepting a call. So I think yeah, he'd be good at it.
All the youth at Waynesboro Mennonite Church, Lamar, Justice, Sierra, Melinda, Dorothy, Jonathan, and Caitlin. that are here with me today and this week.
I'd like to encourage two people. Matt Weaver is one of them, and Daniel Owolabi is another guy I think really has a calling to be a pastor.
Our niece Naomi is looking to go to AMBS, but I think she has special gifts in ministry that she's going to bring.
I think my brother Matthew Nisley could be a really good pastor. I think he really could do it.
Yeah, Clarence Rempel, the church is recalling you, and Lars Okerson, we need you in the pulpit somewhere.
Caitlin Desjardins.
I was going to say that. I was going to say the same. Caitlin Desjardins.
And the qualities of a pastor that Maisha described are all things that are Maisha. So I would nominate Maisha Seebeck to go on the call wall.